Hello, everyone, and welcome. After about 2 fucking months, welcome back to the magical world of PATHCO, or BATHCO if you're Sigmund von Beck. Last time, 2 fucking months, we left our heroes in quite the predicament, which I will now recap for you for everyone's convenience.
Oh, thank God.
So basically how this all started is, Montbec arrived at the monastery where PATHCO is based and asked for help in a mission all the way to the north, close to Four Spires, in a city called Blackwater. So after travel there, the players met... what's her name again? there goes my perfect streak of not being interrupted.
What's the name?
Brenna Parrish.
Ah, that was my second guess.
Brenna Parrish with the crowd tattoos. That's her. So the players met Brenna Parrish, another agent of the same group that Montbec is part of, and she is sort of the leader of a small network of informants in Blackwater who have been noticing that there is weird shit going on. Namely, that it looks like Blackwater is preparing for war. And recently, one of the prime informants of Brennan Parish, namely Professor Olaf Peachwood, has been killed in his office by the alleged serial killer, the Blackwater Sailor, who may or may not actually be real, or may or may not be a figment of the city government to mask their dealing with possible espionage. So, last time, the heroes of PATHCO journeyed through the terrible sewers of Blackwater, met Tim the Rat King.
He was great.
He was great.
I fucking hate Tim the Rat King.
How can you hate Tim the Rat King?
Blades in the Dark has rivals. Tim the Rat King is me, Philo. His rival.
Nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so, and they traveled through the sewers and found their way to the university to search for any evidence of Olaf Peachwood's murder, and, if possible, to steal his body, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we weren't sure if he was going to still be here.
Yeah, I'm just recapping what I vaguely heard you guys plan.
Yeah.
Didn't Glanvar climb out of a window at some point?
Yeah, it turned out to be...
Yeah, I played Spider Dwarf.
Yeah, it turned out to be necessary, though.
You did.
That's a look.
Sorry
You
about
did. That was very cool. So, Glanvar has infiltrated the office through the window. Meanwhile, Dave and Thyra have used a clever ruse and bardic magic to sneak their way into the office through the front. And meanwhile, Sigmund is somewhere in the main hall of the university,
with an equally clever ruse that basically, instead of bardic magic, involves lying and pretending not to be able to read.
Indeed. This is very much true.
God, what if we just don't find Sigmund again?
David's very on edge.
That would be very consequential for the continuing of PATHCO as a series.
I feel like he'd probably just, you know, it's like if you get lost in the grocery store, you know,
it's fine. Like, the cops have found me. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's true.
That seems worse. I don't think the cops are the good guys in this scenario.
So what you're saying is you don't currently need an adult.
Sigmund has never needed an adult since he was very young.
We should get some fireworks just in case one of us does need an adult.
Well, I don't think he's been made yet. They're just a bit. They're not suspicious of him because they think he's lying. They're suspicious because if I recall correctly, these guards didn't like the PATHCO, the sewer cleaning organisation of which Sigmund involved. No, Simon Montbec, if I remember correctly. It was something like, Simon Montbec. Simon Montbec is part of PATHCO, and they were slightly concerned with like why an external. So they believed him. They just were slightly concerned as to the ramifications of that lie and the why have like an external company been brought in to do this. But I think it was going mostly okay. Like,
you haven't been made as like a spy who is a threat to the city, which you might not be, but we'll see about that. Okay.
I think for Sigmund to be a threat to this city. No, Sigmund isn't a threat to this city. That makes far too high a judgment of his overall competencies as a spy.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so I have a little cool soundtrack here, which I recently ran into and which I thought fit the university quite well. So I'm gonna post that here. And in the meantime, I am going to start with Thyra, Glanville, and Dave. So, you are in the office of Olaf Peachwood himself. If I remember correctly, in the same room as you, there is a guard who is currently asleep.
Yes.
Thanks to bardic magic.
Oh crap, how long does that last for?
Yeah, that was
I did not check.
The spell duration is actually...
hopefully it's longer than 2 months.
Yeah.
It's he'll wake up and he'll be old.
No, I didn't want that. I just wanted him to leave us alone.
Yeah.
So
He will for 13 years.
13 years, good lord. Do you remember which spell you used, Dave?
Yes, it was Deep Slumber, acts like... oh god, 1 minute per level. We better hustle!
Okay, that's not a long time.
No,
Okay,
that's
so
8
that's-
minutes.
8 minutes.
Takes way longer than this to
Okay.
get out of a room.
You have 8 minutes to search Olaf Peachwood's office.
Well, you could use those 8 minutes to knock him out better.
Yeah, that's
That's a
true.
good point. Can I use detect magic?
What school is that?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah, it doesn't
it's
work
there.
divination, isn't it? All right, fuck it.
Well, I mean,
so
you can, but
I'm gonna use my fucking eyes.
Yeah, I'll use my regular non-magic eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my perception as well because
okay.
Glanville,
Let's
you're
use
Anyone
on
rolling
non-magic.
perception, tell me what you are looking for.
That's a low roll from Brother Glanville.
I'm looking. Are there weird books in here?
There are certainly books in here.
I'm looking for weird ones specifically.
Okay. None of them immediately catch your attention as weird.
What if I did some kind of roll to determine how weird they might
You
be?
could certainly do some kind of roll to determine the weirdness of these books.
Wow, if only I had some kind of spell to detect how weird they were.
Oh yes. Well, wouldn't that be great?
It would be so handy.
Okay, with
They
an
could
8,
call it Find Arcanity.
Yeah.
find Arcanity.
I don't like that name.
I think I'm gonna write a third-party spell.
Write a full source book that's just find Arcanity.
Find Arcanity. Okay. Man, I wish I had edit privileges on the wiki. If I did, then I would just change every mention of detect magic to find Arcanity.
Well, Find Arcanity does do something slightly different because I think when they work out and start trying to cast it, it just takes you to the nearest dog. So it's actually a really useful spell.
Nice. Okay,
That is a
so with
spell
an
Dave
8,
wants.
Thyra, you are convinced of the strangeness of the book called Pipetting Techniques for Starting Lab Staff.
Okay, that does sound suspicious. I'm going to take 7 other books at random.
Okay.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
Nice, Myra.
For
You know,
Starting Lab Stuff. Okay, that's the book. You can take those 7 books. I will tell you what they are later
Yeah,
because
you
I'm
don't
not
have to
going to
come
come
up
up
with
with 7 book names.
no,
the
please
fly.
do. I want no. I need to write them down in my inventory, Mon.
Yes, that's true. You can say 7 random books named
7
pending.
books would weigh a fucking ton.
I'm hefty.
Maybe I'm just saying that as someone with a strength stat of 4.
4 books and Pipit book.
Indeed.
Okay,
Meanwhile, Dave, what exactly are you looking for, or what are you inspecting, or what is the context of your perception roll?
Dave is looking for signs of struggle, like, blood, things knocked over, things scratched, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That'd be exactly
You can
what
see-
Glanvar would be looking for.
So we
as
can
well.
team up. Glanvar and I can team up. We can look at the same things.
Okay,
you
yeah,
both
you
look
can
together.
team up.
Turn
That will
on the
definitely
Batman
increase
style
the quality
detective
of both of your rolls. 1 + 1 is 3. You are looking around, and you can see the chalk outline that the guard has made, where they found the body of Olaf Beechwood. You can see some blood stains. I think Glanvar with like 23 is pretty good, so you can see that some of them are a little bit darker than the others. As you keep looking around, you can see that there are some scratches on the desk and the things on it. So a closed little booklet, maybe a diary of some sorts, a cigarette box, a pencil case, have all sort of been pushed aside as if someone was maybe pushed onto the desk or slammed onto it, if you will.
Can we
you
see
can
enough
see-
to do a CSI type recap of what,
Yeah.
what went down?
And yeah, you can see otherwise. That's maybe remarkable. You can see that the lamp hanging from the ceiling, which is sort of a like an oil lamp in a glass case, you can see that that's cracked. So something has hit the lamp, despite it being about, what would you say, like 10 feet from the ground.
Well, we know that from the Blackwater Sailor pamphlet thing that he was, that is to say, Olaf was found hanged in the office, but we suspect that maybe he wasn't, or if he was, then it wasn't this made-up serial killer. So if he was found hanged, then why would there be a body outline on the floor?
Yeah, you cannot see any immediate evidence of him being hanged specifically to any degree.
I'm adding to my notes, the hanging tale is a load of bollocks.
Is there any sign of, like, stab marks or whatever on the ground inside of the man outline?
No, not that you can see.
Is the guard still asleep, or is he starting to rouse?
We've got
I
8
think
minutes.
he's,
Glanvar's
at the
gonna-
moment he is still asleep. Because
If
this
it
is,
happens, we're just tipping him out the window, it's fine.
yeah, like this is stuff that you would have been able to see fairly quickly.
So, 'cause my comment I was going to say is Glanvar is going to be keeping a nervous eye, on
Okay, yeah. I will definitely
yeah.
then keep you posted on the status of the guard.
Dave would have said, when it happened, okay, we've got like about 8 minutes, okay, let's go quickly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, but I find if you don't actively
Okay,
say these
yeah.
things, suddenly he drops it on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. It's very good that you point that stuff out.
Glanvar is a
And
lot
I
more
will
sensible
definitely
than
give
Dave.
you some handy stuff for saying that to me. Okay. So you've got the cracked lamp, you've got the 2 shades of blood, if you will. You've got the push and scrape marks on the desk. You've got the desk stuff that has been pushed around.
Can I use a heal check to determine? So I can see 2 different shades of blood in my mind. That strikes me that one is slightly older than the other. Can I use a heal check?
You can definitely use a heal check.
To
Yes.
try and see if I can figure out how old. Maybe.
Can
Yeah,
I
you can
assist
definitely
on
make a
that,
heal
as
check.
I'm kind of a healer to an
That
extent.
is kind of what you do.
or yeah, anyone can make a heal check if they wish.
Let's all make a heal check.
Dave is bad at it. Yep. He does his best. Nice. Hager's getting better roll than the cleric.
God damn it.
Why
I'm
do you
good
say
at
that?
one thing, you guys.
Okay, so Dave, this isn't really your expertise. Thyra and Thyra and Glanvar,
I'll change that.
meanwhile, you are looking at this blood, and like most of it is sort of dark, typical aged blood, probably like a while ago. Like it has been dry for a bit. But the other blood, the one that still has more color to it, it isn't per se that it is lighter of color, but you can see that it has sort of almost a glow to it. So it seems to be emitting like a slight fluorescence.
If only I could detect magic on this.
If only you could.
Son of a bitch.
And as you sort of maybe rub your thumb against it, you feel a little sting. So you feel this, even though it seems to be like almost dried up, you can feel this blood sort of stinging your finger as you touch it.
Can I take a sample?
Yes, you can.
I slam my whole hand into the smear and then take my glove off. Like I turn my glove inside out and then...
yeah, nice.
When you said slam, I thought Glanvar's going to start wincing at the noise, but then you continued with...
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be sometimes the weakest part of the desk drawer is the desk job again.
Oh, that'd also be good. Is that desk shut? Do we need to
No,
do
wait, that was going to be my that was going to be my next thing to do.
Okay.
Cool.
So
let's
with the
all
blood,
watch
you've
Dave
got
do
a
that.
sample of the strange blood.
Good call, Thyra.
Sample
Like
of
with
glowy
this
blood.
with these heal checks, like you can tell that this is either this is not human blood, or it is human blood of someone on some really heavy shit.
We've all had weekends like that.
But Beer Beck hasn't been here.
Yeah. Oh, she might have done. She's had a troubled past.
She does.
Thyra's also going to take off her other glove so she doesn't look like a crazy person wearing one glove.
Fair point. Dave,
Me.
you were saying something about the desk.
Yeah, or the desk and probably the bookshelves as well. I want to look for secrets, basically. I want to see if it's like a secret drawer. There's a book I push and it folds around. I was hoping I could do something like knowledge engineering or something like just sort of poke
yes,
stuff.
you can roll knowledge engineering to check for like mechanisms and stuff.
Do I want to take my 10 or do I want to roll it? Let's roll it. Hooray! It worked out in my favour.
Hooray. 25, that's very good. So in a desk and in the bookcases, you do not find any specific mechanisms. You do, however, find that the drawers of the desk are locked, except for one, which contains what seems to be a diary.
Can I toss that to Glanvar? So I think there's something important in this.
Use it.
I have a brand new, never been used set of Masterwork Thieves tools. And I figure if they're locked, that means they've got something important in them. So I'm going to have a go at those.
Okay, yes.
So you've tossed... Glanvar's going to start looking through the book.
Dave gives a thumbs up.
You are looking... What exactly were you tossing to Glanvar? The book?
Yeah, that's what I
The
said.
diary, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
Dave
I thought
wants
so,
to...
yeah.
Okay.
Dave
Yeah,
wants to carry
that's-
on unlocking
okay.
things while someone else
Okay.
goes through the important looking
That's
document.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to continue with you, Dave. Come back to the diary in a bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Dave, you were going to use some tools?
Yes, my brand new Masterwork Thieves tools.
Ooh.
I
all
don't know
right.
how to use
Are they
them.
brand new?
What
They
do
are brand
those
new.
do exactly?
I don't know. I know that you can use them for opening locks and stuff. They're lock picks, basically. It's like a lock pick.
Okay. So,
that one's
do those
fine.
give you a bonus to a roll, or do they just work?
Let's see.
as they are? Like,
This kit
do they just
contains lockpicks and
guaranteedly
other tools
open
you need
mundane
to use
locks,
the
or-
disabled device skill. So I don't. Without them, I would have to take a -2 penalty, but I don't.
All
So
right.
I get, because I've got masterwork, I get a +2 circumstance bonus on disabled device check. So I roll disabled device and add 2. Then.
Okay, cool.
Hooray!
Then you can definitely do that.
Do I do it twice, or should I do it once for the time being? Because there are 2 desks, drawers. You
Yeah. You can roll it once, and we'll see how it goes.
add a +2 to whatever this is. That's a
Yes.
14, which isn't
Right.
great.
14.
What's the DC
Yeah,
of the
that'll
Destro?
do.
Hooray!
That 14 will do. You open up the drawer, and it contains what looks like drawing equipment, because you remember that all of Peachwood's field of expertise was architecture. So this stuff just contains like some grid paper and what's the? It's that thing with
like a
2
compass.
legs, and one of them's got a pin, and the
Yeah,
other's
a
got
compass.
a pencil.
A compass.
Yes,
Compass, yeah.
a compass. So it contains that. It contains some pencils, a ruler, stuff like that. Mundane architecture equipment.
Thank you. Okay. And the other one?
The other drawer, you can roll disable device for again.
Okie dokie. Come on, Dave. I need to put some more points into this now. Okay. 12.
12. Yeah, like, these are mundane locks, and they're not particularly high-end, so anything above a 10 will do.
Right.
So you open them up, and there is nothing in there except for a lone cigarette. Not a cigarette, a cigar. So there is a lone cigar in there, and which you assume to be taken from the cigar case on the desk.
Is there like a label or anything on the cigar?
That's a
Or on the
good
box?
question. These are there is a label on it, which shows something that looks like sort of a like a dwarfish symbol, and it is
Don't worry, I'm
called
dwarvish.
indeed, and it is called Tough Quality Tobacco. Tough is spelled like this.
Okay.
God, that doesn't sound like a good smoke, does it? Tough tobacco.
Does there appear to be anything different about this cigar compared to the ones in the case? Or
You
is it
can
just,
roll.
Like, it's been smoked.
So as you look at the cigar, and you open the case, what's immediately strikes you is that the case is full,
Oh.
but it looks like the cigar that you found in a drawer had been smoked for a bit, whereas none of these cigars in the case have been smoked.
Can you unroll a cigar?
That was my thinking.
How do cigars work?
So they're like wrapped in
yeah.
a thing.
Yeah,
Take
you,
it out of
But
it.
you'd have to if you look at it to look at the tobacco, you'd have to cut the tobacco, but you can get in there easy.
Okay, I'd like to.
Well,
open
I'm
it.
thinking maybe he's like wrapped a thing up. and
Yeah,
he's
that's
smoking
what
it like
Dave's
a-
thinking as well. That's what it'd be.
Yeah,
what
so
would
Just
as
Dave
box
you-
say,
it for now
yes.
and take a look at.
as you
Yeah,
fiddle
sure,
with
good
the
idea,
cigars.
good idea.
Are you gonna take a look at it, Clanfar?
Well, if
I'm
Glanbar
just-
says, "Oh, fiddle with it later," if he sees Dave like get out his little dagger, then Dave will put it away to do that.
No
to
point
do that
making
later.
a mess.
No, that's true. So
Yeah,
you are
okay.
taking.
We are on a time limit as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. So you are taking the cigar then.
Yeah,
Of the
to open
case.
it up later, just in case.
Okay. I think you probably have about 2 minutes left at this point. So
Should
Get out
we
of
go-
there as well.
Yeah, we need to find Sigmund.
yeah, the guard is like showing slight signs of waking up in the near future.
I hope he had a nice dream.
Clanvar, about the diary that you were browsing through. as you read through it, most of it is seemingly unremarkable, but as you leaf through to the 3 most recent entries and you read over them, they strike you as a bit odd. So the first one reads as follows. Well, the first one, the third recent most, reads as follows. I have noticed recently that a few colleagues from the academy seem to coincidentally be in my surroundings an awful lot. I do not know them personally, as they are from the alchemical engineering department, and when I attempt to speak to them here, they are either busy or avoid me altogether. One of them is a planar research leader. She works at Imploration Lab 4, I think. To my surprise, I have been unable to pin down who they are in the staff register. Are they even real staff? When I asked Lab 4 about who their research leader was, they gave me vague answers about what she was like working with as a superior, but when I asked her name, where she lived, her age, they usually said, I wouldn't know anything about that. So, they acknowledge her existence, but they seem to know nothing about her. Is this as bizarre as I think it is, or am I being paranoid? I am uncertain whether consulting other staff is a good idea. So you continue to the next one, which is significantly shorter. It reads, definitely not paranoid. Yesterday I saw Lab 4, for lack of a better name, when I was walking home. No doubt I was being followed. I am debating coming up with some excuse to leave the city for a while. I doubt that I am safe here. I have not told any other staff members, even ones I deem trustworthy, so as to not involve them or endanger them. And then you read the most recent entry, and it says, unbelievable. It seems like my conspiratory tendency has got the better of me. And to think the entirety of Lab 4 was in on this silly mischief. Oh well, I suppose being prey to the escapades of my colleagues is part of the job after all. And we had a good laugh about it over tea this afternoon. I must apologize to Miss Woolsnick still. Her co-workers have now jokingly started calling her Lab 4, and it must be a terrible bother. And as you are reading over this, Glanvar, you have a strong enough innate perception that you would notice that the last entry is slightly inconsistent in terms of handwriting.
Literally what I was thinking. I mean, that's what I was thinking just from the tonal shift. He's going to cast a glance up towards the guard.
Yeah, the guard is... He's moving around in his sleep more than he was. Like, he's coming out of deep sleep, you know? And you probably have a minute and a bit left, but
We need to get out of here.
It's starting to get close.
Is there anything else you want to look at, Thora?
Nope, this looks good. Let's leg it.
Yep, that's
Do we
fine.
wanna...
That's fine, Sigmund. We need to watch out for those guards that I sent away as well.
Do we want to break into Lab 4 while we're here?
Let's find Sigmund first.
Assuming that Glanvar has said that aloud and I'm not just talking
Well,
absolute
Lab
shit.
4 is the alchemical engineering department, and this is the architecture department. So we'd have to go somewhere else anyway. Let's find Sigmund first. I don't trust him on his own.
All right. So as you are all leaving the office and you shut the door, a few moments later, this guard sort of wakes up wearily, looks around, and he sees nobody. Sort of blinks. Oh, it's a weird dream. Okay. In the meantime, Sigmund.
Meanwhile,
Hello.
You are currently carousing the main hall of the university. And I believe that the last thing that you did was have a short encounter with the guard captain that was stationed here,
That's right, I think.
where you were trying to excuse the fact that you are an armed man walking around in a university, not being part of the local guard force.
No, but I am covered in extremely disgusting stuff from the sewers, which I think helps my argument that I came out through the sewers.
This is true. This is true.
He's just owning it, like, who would be crazy enough to do this kind of thing? And it appears to be mostly working.
Yeah. I think that you have lost the immediate suspicion of the guards, but they are sort of slightly keeping an eye on you. Like, they are expecting you to go to some work or something. Like,
Yeah, because I was thinking I was going to try and get somewhere else had this gone, like, even better. I don't think I can really do much from this position without gaining a much higher level of suspicion. So this is the main hall. Like, what are the exits here?
from the main hall, you can either take the big staircase up, or you can... coincidentally, actually, as you are looking at the big staircase, you can see at the bottom of it a whole bunch of guards and another guard captain just sort of standing around looking for something. You're not quite sure what. You heard them coming thundering down the staircase earlier, but not sure what that is about.
Okay. Are there any kind of, like, grates near that group of guard captains? Not
Any-
like floor grates
Floor grates.
or side grates, or just something that I can look like I'm pretending to investigate while overhearing what they're talking about.
No, you don't immediately see anything of the sort.
This big
The only-
pseudo-medieval building with
Yeah.
no central heating.
The only immediate thing that you can see that has anything to do with like sewers or water is the big pond that is in the middle of the main hall, which seems to be sort of a big square decorative water basin.
Okay, is that close enough to get a bit of just time overhearing what they're talking about?
Yeah, like you might be able to catch something.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll give that a go before I have to bail, I think, to try and...
Okay.
This hasn't gone super well. And I've got some of my pack, so what have I got? I've got my fishing net. Do I have that with me? No, that's my old backpack. I do not have that. Oh no, actually, I might do.
Look at Johnny, 2 backpacks over here.
No, I don't have my actual backpack. It's because Sigmund's got Sigmund has an entire large treasure chest full of crap that's so. Because we bailed out of the ship that one time. So, I think I might have some of this stuff with me. So yeah, I've got some kits with me and some fishing stuff, like a fishing net and an antidote kit.
Okay.
Would that help?
I
I've got
think
some air bladders. So I'm basically going to go to there and look like I'm doing an investigation with an air bladder, pushing it in and out, I'm up and down, I'm testing the consistency of the water for slime.
okay.
That's my
That's convincing. I'll give you I'll allow you to do that and not raise any suspicion. This seems pretty legit.
This is my
nobody here is
a new Hitman's. This is my blend in.
Yeah. Nobody here is a sewage expert, so you can definitely do that and not raise any suspicion.
Okay. Do I overhear anything of use from this group of suspicious guards?
They are looking around, and Dave, could you remind me what exactly your excuse? Do you still remember what your excuse was?
Because the first group that was outside, I cast suggestion on, or on a couple of them, and I said, "Oh, I suggest you go find your superior,"
right,
or something like that. And then once they were gone, I ran inside to the ones that were still in there and said, "Oh no, something terrible's happened. All your other guards have suddenly walked off."
Right. Okay, well, in that case, Sigmund, you are listening in on these guards, and you hear the guard captain say, okay, but what you're saying doesn't make any sense. So suddenly, all of you just happened to feel like you should be downstairs. What kind of sense does that make? I don't know, sir, but I don't know. It was weird. It just felt right, you know. Like we felt like there is just something that we. It's just something that we got to be there for. And the guard captain is shaking his head and says, "Oh, great. You know, I am going to have a word with the guard general about consumption of substances while on duty. You can count on that." And they're saying, "But no, it's not like that. We didn't take drugs, man. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. We just don't know." Yeah. Sounds pretty legit. Well, thanks to those people upstairs. Is this medicinal mugwort? Yes. And the guard captain says, fine. But if this keeps going and you keep doing stuff like this today, then I am going to have to search your lockers at the guard station. I do not want any of this shit in my squadron. Do you understand me? Especially not now that we are here because of a recent murder. Do you even understand what's at stake here? Do you understand your importance in this building? And they're so, yeah, sir. Sorry, sir. Fine. By the way, you shouldn't do mugwort. It's bad for you. I speak from experience. But yeah, that is what you overhear.
Okay. I just realised that Sigmund has mugwort on him at this point.
Nice.
Why?
I'm more laughing at the idea of, no, I swear we didn't do anything, man.
Yeah. Okay, like, I give a bit of a thumbs up to the guards that are keeping an eye on me just to, like, show that I'm doing a thing. Do you recall was there anything specific that I was trying to do or discover? I remember I was basically trying to get a view on. I'm looking over my notes now. I don't see anything there. I was trying to get a general view on, like, if anyone thought this was suspicious.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think we got anywhere with that.
No. Like, from
people.
what you gather, talking, most of them have, like, confidence in the fact that there is actually a serial killer on the loose, and like, the guard presence here is justified, and all of Peach was just killed by a random, like, a weird serial killer, basically.
Yeah, and I checked that with a couple. I've checked that with the guards. I checked that with people down in the the hospital type areas, the sick bay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that, like, I don't think that Sigmund can do that much more on this vector, actually. So
that's fair.
Does he? I guess the only other thing he could do is, like, try and be here doing, like, this blending in and just see if he overhears anything. But I think as soon as it starts to look like, and he'll keep an eye on the other guards, as soon as it looks like they're about to get more interested in him, I think he's going to pack up and head back to base. But only once he's been made, just to see if he overhears anything. You know, I think that's about all I can do. Okay,
that's fair. As you are like listening around, you don't really hear anything specific, but there is one thing that maybe catches your attention as, like, two students are passing by, and they are talking about, they're saying, all right, but where are we going to get all the tips for the model? And that's what are you talking about, man? No, look, here's my plan. Okay, we are going to build a model of the VAS iridescence with pipette tips. With pipette tips, what you? Oh shit, that would be pretty cool, actually. Hey, maybe if we could put that. Can we put that in like the dorm rooms? Yeah, like, dude, we will be the coolest kids in the dorm if we have like a pipette tip model. That would be cool. And from that sort of fantasizing about building a model of something with pipette tips, you did hear the mention of a certain VAS iridescence, which you find perhaps a name that might be noteworthy.
Okay. Does Sigma know what a pipette tip is?
A pipette tip.
Well, that's a good question. I think Sigmund might not know.
Okay. Cool.
Because this is like lab equipment stuff, so...
Cool. So yeah, I think at that point Sigmund's just going to pack up his kit. And then just kind of like head out, give a bit of a nod to the guards on the way out, because I don't think he's really getting anything else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So where were you going exactly?
Oh shit, yeah. Because we came here via the sewers.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the big like entry door at the end of the main hall. That's probably just the front entrance of the university.
Yeah, I think I might need to just kind of get out. Yeah, get out. Get to the nearest pub and have a pint. That's my plan.
Okay. So as you are sort of walking down the main hall, you hear like clattering steps on the stairwell, and as you look sort of to the side, you see Dave. Dave and Thyra and Glanvar, you guys are sort of looking for Sigmund, as you said, and you just about catch him making a move to leave.
Okay. Come on, Sigmund, let's go.
Yeah, I'm just leaving. Yeah, let's go.
I assume we all sidle out.
Yeah, nice and subtle, like.
Yep.
Basically, Sigmund, because he's been like, obviously, he'll distribute some of his kit to all of you guys, and then he'll be like, well, I did some air bladder checks on the fountain. There didn't seem to be any slime coming up through it, so it looks like there's some safety on that one. I'm sure you have all checked out the other places as well, so we should be good to go. And he'll give a nod to security. Bold as brass, walk out.
Okay.
Dave was wearing the outfit of a student, but that's fine.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, he has magic sleeves, so he changed it
Becomes
to
an
look like a student.
apprentice.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be escorting him out, or you might be showing him the way out.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yes,
you
of course,
you can show us out.
Like, I mean,
I'll
the
show
door's
you
right
out.
there, but, you know, this guy can't read, so you
Yeah.
might as well just help him out a bit.
Let's go. Yes, sidle swiftly out to recoup.
Okay. Indeed. So, yeah, you guys leave through the front door. You see that there are guards stationed to the sides. And you are at...
Don't worry about it.
They sort of nod at you. And yeah, you are on what seems to be sort of like a big like plaza in front of the university. Now that you look back, you can see like the university building, which is really tall, and has like two big towers, and you can see the big greenhouse that is next to it.
Hey, do you think they have a students' union here? They usually have pretty cheap ale.
Sigmund, we're still working.
I mean, you know, it's keeping your ear to the ground, though. That's
What?
the thing.
What time of day is it? If I remember
I don't
correctly, it
know.
was like evening. This is more a question for the
8
DM.
o'clock. Oh, that makes more
Sorry,
sense.
this is out of character.
Let's
What
see.
the hell time of day is it?
I think that it was.
This is our first evening here still, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
It
your
was
first evening
late-ish,
here, so
wasn't
it is
Yeah.
getting late. It's getting late.
Maybe we should come back tomorrow then, because we've got this Lab 4 lead. We should track down that. There's also the possibility of Thara using some spell to talk to the dead guy.
I actually think that might be a divination spell. Give me a second.
Oh.
That would be frustrating. No, it's necromancy. We're
it?
cool.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
one.
cool. Yay.
Yay for
Necromancy like
necromancy!
necromancy.
Yes, indeed.
I
So-
can't believe we've been saved by necromancy.
Let's see.
Everyone looks at the camera.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But if
Okay,
I
yeah.
remember, you couldn't do that. You needed to prepare it overnight.
Yeah, well, I'll need to do that tomorrow morning anyway.
So as you are at the university, I will ping you where your where. Actually, it should be on the map.
It's number
where
like
the three
7.
geese.
The 3 geese, isn't it?
It's number 7, yeah.
Yeah, number 7. there it is.
So it's
All
up
the way over
there. So yeah,
We know how to get there in the sewers now, so.
Yeah,
and,
that's
and
true.
we cleared out
You
all
do
the
need to get
monsters.
there.
So it'll be
You
much
do need to
easier.
get there without going through the sewers.
Do we? No, I'm saying we can go through the sewers. I'm sure there's another entrance around here somewhere, and now we know the way, and all the monsters are dead.
Oh yeah, so
Oh, so
you
we
do
just-
want
we
you
just
do
go
want to go back into the sewers.
I'm just saying it would help us avoid detention.
Yeah, okay,
Okay, yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, yeah. After
it's
a bit
faster.
of looking around,
I'll share that VAS iridescence information as well, so
Mhm.
everyone's aware of that.
yeah,
That
you
sounds like a boat name.
after,
Yeah,
after a bit of looking around, you find like an alleyway with a manhole, which you may roll disable device on to open.
Disable device, and then strength, or just disable device? I can do one of those.
Just disable device
Haha, lockpick time.
because it seems
24.
Yep, you are free to enter the manhole.
But only one of us is a man.
This is true.
Creature hole.
Creature hole.
Yes,
that's somehow worse.
the hole.
Sewer entrance. There we go.
Hmm.
Only one of us is a lady.
Yeah. So you climb down this manhole, or hole in general.
Hole. Entrance.
And you go down the ladder, and you end up. Let me actually just put you back on the. Oh man! Ah, bloody hell! The fog of
Sewer
war's gone all weird.
Oh no.
I think.
It's got
Oh, thank God. Please don't
Wonky.
make us go back to the sewer map.
I am making
God,
you go
that
back
was
to the
so-
sewer map.
Why?
It was big.
What did we
Could
ever
have
do
just
to you?
walked to the pub. Oh God.
So you end up through this ladder.
We need to know exactly how many apathetic slugs are down there.
Indeed. Okay, yeah, I am gonna have to quickly like fiddle with the fog of war for a second because this
Well-
shit is super weird.
While you're faffing with it, I'm going to get some more water. I'll be back in a minute.
What is going on here?
So I'm thinking about trying to bake a sweet potato tonight because I'm hungry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Not certain how to do that, it must be said.
Same way as you bake a jacket potato.
Well, yeah, but people are saying like either 50 to 60 minutes or like 25 with no middle ground.
It depends
Oh.
on the size of the potato, or if you're going to pre-cook it in the microwave as well.
Do people do that? What?
Yeah, you can sort of, yeah, it cuts down the cooking time by a good half if you basically heat the cook the inside, then use the oven to crisp up the skin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, that's like 10
Oh,
to 15
oh
minutes.
yeah, okay, I figured out what the hell is going on, so I can.
Oh, that might be quite good.
It's because like the.
Ooh, this one has Worcestershire sauce on it.
Actually, no.
Do you like some homemade baked beans to go on top of them? Ooh, and
We said
eggs.
Fog.
Do you have eggs in?
hide areas.
Man, I really want to sweep it down now. I might do that after this.
This is really making for a riveting
Sounds
stream,
good.
I'm sure.
What?
So this must be making for a riveting stream.
I'm back.
I
I
think
am sure it is. Okay, finally, I have gotten everything in order.
at the bottom of the non-gender specific hole.
Yes. So
Or
here
race
you are,
specific hole.
back in the sewer map.
Oh, for
Yay.
fuck's sake.
Sorry.
I feel
We're
like I'm having
home.
a recurring nightmare.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you're here. You've gone down this manhole. You're in a small room, part of which seems to have collapsed. Again, bad sewer maintenance. And you seem to find a thin little way that leads out to the big sewer place.
Hello, slugs.
Yes, there are slugs. They
Are
are.
these chill slugs? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
they are.
They are chill slugs. Yeah.
Apathetic slugs, as I said.
Ah,
Nothing
Yes.
can do apathy as well as a mollusk.
This is true.
Are slugs mollusks? They are, aren't they?
They are. Yes.
Hooray, I was correct.
So yeah, here you are. You can see this part of the sewer here, and you can see the other way as well.
Pretty sure we came from this way.
I think we went kind of like up
Yeah.
north. I think.
Yeah. So as you
Maybe. I can't remember. Can our gracious DM allow us the fact that our characters were here about 20 minutes ago, but the players were here like 3 months ago?
Yeah, our characters
Yes.
definitely remember the way.
Way back.
yeah, yeah. From here, you would definitely remember that in this direction is the
The
sort of
geese. And the big
like the
hole.
connection to the Three Geese Inn. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And-
also
and
remember there was
Tim.
something big and scary that we managed to avoid, so be on the lookout for that thing.
Oh, in
It'll
the
be
water.
fine.
Yeah, it was big and it was scary, and we only caught a flash.
Oh yeah,
of
it was in the water.
It
Yeah.
ate the zombies that we'd knocked off, or something like that.
No, we'd avoided it.
Yes, we avoided it.
snuck
I
around.
know, but I'm saying it's still here.
Right, let's just book our way back and
Yeah, I
book
forgot
it.
about that.
So yeah, you
I unmagic
sort of
sleeps
go up
myself.
here,
Oh,
and
it's over there, I remember now.
which way are you going though?
Up.
Is this the right way?
Whichever way the pub is.
The right way is up. I will tell you.
Oh, I was right. Hooray. Oh, was it up as in this way up?
Yes, that way
Oh,
up.
okay, sorry. Dave remembers. Egg does not.
Dave remembers. And
Egg
yeah, as
has
you
a real life
pass,
terrible sense of direction.
you encounter the man himself, Tim, the Rat King.
Hi, Tim.
Fucking
As he
hell.
sees you approach, he says, "Wait, let me get the voice."
Where is he?
Hello,
somewhere.
traveler. I see you've come back to my domain.
Hi, Tim.
And oh, what a domain it is.
Indeed, I think you'll find it quite splendiferous.
I really won't.
Okay.
We've given you money, old man. Get out of our way.
Sigmund's going to head over and have a quick drink with Tim.
I
Nice.
rats it well.
Nice.
It's not a particularly
Very
good pun.
nice.
Sigmund, are you sure you want to be there? You're behaving very erratically.
That's a better one.
So Tim sort of nods in agreement. Very good. Very good.
Oh, he's into these. This is a weird conversation.
Oh, yes.
Meanwhile,
I
from
didn't
Glambar,
like
you're
being
getting
here the first time.
All right. Well, I think maybe are we back in a little bit, Tim?
No, we all hang out for 40 minutes as Sigmund and Tim have a drink and shoot the shit.
Yeah, so Sigmund and Tim having a drink.
Dave makes
Quick
friends
drink.
with some rats.
Tim Tim says to you, Sigmund.
He's an important ally. We should keep him on the concern.
He's a named
Do
NPC.
you have your sewer clam with you?
Yup,
your sewer
Dave
clam
has it,
card.
as with all of our important documentation.
Yeah.
Is this what we bought off him?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, the sewer clam.
Yeah,
Or was
Yeah.
this an oyster
Show me your
reference?
clam.
it's an oyster
Come
joke.
on.
Okay.
Where's my?
We just
Where's
use
my
contact.
stamp?
Everyone uses contact lists these days.
Well, I've not invested in contactless yet. It's only cash here.
Unfortunately, contactless is a divination spell.
Indeed.
Son of a bitch.
You see him rummage around, and he gets like a little pot of ink. It looks like sort of a. Actually, no. He just gets out like
Half
what seems to be
potato
like
with a
sort of
rat
a,
on
like
it
a
carved
squid's
out.
like ink, like an ink bladder that he just keeps around,
Ew.
which he sort of squeezes to get like some ink on his hand, and he takes your sewer clam and he puts like 2 fingerprints on it. So that is 2 and return. All right, here you go. You're 2 stamps closer to a free item from the gift shop.
Oh, do you have
goody.
like t-shirts or something?
Well, I have all sorts of things, and he like rummages around in his boxes and his pods. I have rats and rat accessories.
I really want just one of them to be like a tunic with just a picture of him on it.
So you see him. He gets sort of like boxes out. So this is let's see, what have I got here? This is an Incutilus shell, and he gets out like sort of a nautilus, like a curled shell that's as big as like a cheese wheel.
How big a cheese wheel?
Yeah, as big as a cheese wheel.
But cheese wheels come in many
Unfortunately,
sizes.
it's one
That's
of those,
true.
Like, it's one of those like rule cheese
It's
wheels.
like
it's not
it has a diameter of the
17
average.
feet.
It has like a diameter of half a foot.
How many days is that?
Jesus.
It's
That
pretty
is
big.
large.
Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
going
large.
back to the pub, by
That's
the
a
way.
micro Dave.
So it's an Incutilus shell, which is sort of like a nautilus shell. They live deep down in these sewers. You must be careful, because they're, as magical beasts, they have mind control abilities. However, this shell is fully free of any Incutilus living inside it, and is thus an appealing accessory. It's like this massive shell that he's holding.
He puts it on top of his head.
Yeah, he does. You see, fashion.
Actually, Tim, you know a lot about like water and such things. Have you ever heard of a ship, the VAS Iridescence?
The VAS Iridescence.
Is that a boat?
A ship indeed. However, I'm afraid that I cannot help you where water is concerned. You see, the VAS Iridescence, no any citizen of Blackwater, as it is its pride, is currently an airship under construction.
Oh, that's
Yes.
pretty dope.
It's being built in the industrial district.
It is indeed pretty dope.
Yes. Dwarf engineers have come all the way to Blackwater to make their fortune helping build the VHS Iridescence.
Yes,
quite large.
That's what they're
VAS, yes.
The Betamax Iridescence.
Wait a minute. I'm remembering a thing. Doesn't iridescent...
It means shiny.
Oh, I thought it meant glowy because we found that glowy blood. I thought there was a connection.
Maybe.
Eh. God, what if an airship killed him? Wouldn't that be fucking wild?
I'm not sure an airship would have fit in there. Hey, Mr. Rat King, I've got a question.
How big is the iridescence?
That's not my
Could it
question.
fit in a man's office?
how big is the iridescence? Let's see.
Do you even leave the sewers?
Could it,
How do you know this?
could it fit in a medium-sized man's office?
I'm going to have to go with no.
It's worth checking out, though.
Well, I don't know exactly how big it is because I've not been on the upside in years. But I do know that they've built a special hangar to house it because none of the others would fit it. So I would have to assume it is quite large, much like this Incutulis shell. And he sort of puts it back on his head. He like lifts it off, puts it back on.
Well, when we get a few more visits,
and lifts it back up again, and now there's a rat sat on his head.
Yeah.
He does like a little magic.
It's a little magic trick.
I was gonna ask about that big monster that's down here.
Big monster.
Yeah, it was some big fish thing. It ate some zombies.
Big fish.
I think it was a fish.
Fish. No, I don't know what. I have no idea what you're talking.
Well, I don't think it would fit up these little canals, so I think we're probably okay. I was just curious.
I should probably send some informants to inspect this tail of a big fish.
You mean rats, right?
Harriet!
Yes. Okay.
Jonesy! Go forth! And he like makes a gesture with his hand, and two of the rats like scamper down the
Bye, rats!
So they are sort of like scampering down the thing.
Okay. That was all I wanted. Maybe we'll come back with that shell thing. I don't know. Let's go home, guys.
You should.
I'm tired.
It's all the rage
been
these
a
days,
long
but that
day.
might not last. You should buy it while you have the chance.
Maybe when we get our stamps, yes? Or the clam.
Yes, well, you'll have to get plenty of stamps because let's see, the Incutulis shell he sort of goes through his list.
This is a dead end.
No
Let's
less
get to the way.
than 8 stamps. It is a
8?
commodity.
Do we get a
So-
stamp
8
each?
is not a large number. We got 2 today.
I don't get many customers, all right?
Are you
Don't
okay?
confront me with my failing business.
You're not
well,
owed
it's-
money.
You seem very popular with the rats.
Didn't we pay you like 5 copper for this clam? I don't understand how you make any money at all.
I live in a sewer. What do you think?
He's off the grid, though.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the grid in this situation?
The
There's
city
like
grid.
roads and stuff.
Well, there is actually an interesting theory, and he gets out
let's
like
go.
little
Bye.
booklets.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
talking about ley lines
see it,
again.
see it, Tim.
Ley line.
And now you started them off. Well,
Bye, Tim.
It
Bye.
is going to be shit for whoever comes down this
yes.
way next.
See you next time. Be sure to bring your sewer clam. Goodbye.
It's going to be really awkward if we forget that sewer clam next time.
You
I
gotta
hope
keep
that
hold of
doesn't
that
happen.
segment. It's the only thing we're trusting you with.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. So as you return to the 3 Geese Inn, actually, I have a map for that.
And I've got a picture of the dude, the landlord. There he is.
Yeah, yeah, but not.
But not.
But not. He's
Not
still
well.
there.
there's a map for that.
I've got a map for that. But not. He is not actually here right now.
Okay, bye then.
And
Rude man.
you guys have returned to your place.
Dinner time.
Okay.
There's a lot of beds in here. Are we the only people staying down here?
This is the
At the
secret.
moment, yeah.
This is the secret bit.
Oh, this is like the rebellion base.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. But it's empty apart from you for now.
And all these drawn-in guns.
And I'm
Should
telling
borrow
you,
some of those.
Time for dinner.
Indeed.
And then supper.
What are you having?
And then
for
dessert. And then another dessert.
Do
And
we know if
then
the food here is any good? Did what's her name tell her if the food was any good?
Um,
I'm not sure she
I don't
commented.
think she mentioned, no.
We always forget to ask the important questions.
Quick, we'd find Yelp. Fancy Yelp.
I need to learn message just for this.
I can ask. I can
Yelp.
ask. I can ask fancy Twitter with my commune with birds.
Oh, that's true.
Wow. It's accurate.
Mm.
Are we trying the in-house dining then, or are we going to like a restaurant or something?
Let's just stay here. I mean, Dave's only saying dinner because he's a halfling. He probably ate like half an hour ago, but he wants to eat again because he's a halfling.
Yeah. I think that
That seems reasonable.
Burtnot's specialty is like lamb with mint sauce.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's lamb with mint sauce, and it's like additional lamb mince on top of a lamb joint.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
mint
it's just like
sauce. Oh.
it's a lamb haunch with like sauce. And you hear him like he's cooking. You see him preparing the haunch. You hear him calling like, "Oh, come on, where's the lamb sauce? Where did I put it?" And soon enough, you are served 4 servings of lamb with lamb sauce.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, actually, oh shit, no, he has the Scottish accent, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. Forgot about
To
that.
say,
How much
Yes,
does this
true.
cost me?
I'll do that from now on then. Is there anything that you want to ask?
Yeah, let's ask him tons of questions. Someone has to do a Scottish accent.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
I don't think I've got any questions for him.
No, I mean,
Quick, do you know what the USS Independence is?
I'm sorry.
Sigmund,
What's
I
a
don't remember the
USS?
name of the boat.
The VAS Iridescence.
That's what I said.
Oh, the VS Iridescence. Sure, I know. It's the Viceroyal airship. They're building it in the industrial district. I haven't actually seen it with my own eyes, but I hear it's quite big. Built a whole new hangar for it. But I'll be honest, like the first stuff was what he said like out loud as he was talking to you, but then he lowers his voice and he says, "But I'll be honest with you, I do not have high hopes for this for the situation once that thing is finished, because Blackwater technology is no joke. And if that thing is as powerful as the God and the army claim it to be, well then, we might be properly fucked."
That does sound concerning. Okay, so we're going to have to steal an airship on the way out.
Well, we don't know if this is important yet. Just because Sigmund heard a couple of students wanting to make a model about it does not mean that this is important in any way.
But not, our dear friend literally just said it could really fuck us.
Well, that's not what we're investigating.
Well, this is a more
Well,
general
not so much
Blackwater
you
stuff.
as, well, any surrounding cities, really.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you meant me specifically.
Oh, no, not.
Okay,
well, I mean,
okay,
it could. It could technically, but
I don't know. I'm pretty
you'd have to really get in the way for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I can summon 8 lightning bolts a day. I think I've got it covered.
Granvar muses to himself with the idea of stealing an airship. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Nice.
Glanvar flashes back to 9 separate instances where he's stolen an airship in the past.
I'm pretty sure
Like-
this is part of, like, on GA Tilda's CV.
Yeah, like
Expert at stealing ships.
only 9 times has the early airship technology been adapted in the PATHCO continent, and Glanvar has stolen every and each one of them at one point.
And then crashed it on a joyride.
Yeah, inevitably. It's like those bullshit Victorian hot air
Yeah.
balloons and shit.
Yeah, dirigibles and stuff.
Ooh, by the way, there's something I should tell you about now that you're talking about the VS Iridescence. One of you is, or maybe 2, I don't remember. You can use magic, right?
Yes. Well, sometimes. Not at the moment. Some of it doesn't work.
Yes, well,
Recreationally for fun and profit, yes.
yes, well, I think that you
And
maybe
religion.
shouldn't. I think that you probably shouldn't do that around the guard. I should have told you this earlier, but they do not look kindly on any kind of magic that isn't regulated by the university.
What if I did it
You see how?
on the guard? Twice.
Well, did they see you do it?
Yes. They thought I was a student. If that helps.
Well,
I mean, you could just stay disguised as a student.
yeah, I think
Or
that they probably
else.
didn't know. Was it like fire or
no.
lightning?
I made
Okay, so
them
they
go
might
away.
not have noticed you actually casting it then.
Ah, good point.
But you should be careful. Actually, come here. Come down to the basement. I want to show you something.
We all pick up our plates and go with them.
Yeah, like you just.
We're eating them.
Yeah, like that. I can imagine Glanval like stealing that shit.
Days
Like,
on his
I hope
thirds.
you are intentionally
right.
muted and not by accident.
Grandpa doesn't steal it.
Intentionally, I was eating a muffin.
All right. So, but not. He comes down and he opens up like a drawer somewhere, and he hands you 2 pamphlets, and he says, "They don't really hand these out anymore, but the sentiment's still the same." And he shows you this and this.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
Well, they didn't mention bards, so I think I'm okay.
Yeah, they don't mention clerics either. I think I'm probably cool.
I think they're personal
I-
that they wouldn't
it's
like.
the different kinds of magic. I get it.
I think that you might just want to be careful, especially since no god worship is recognized as being real here in Blackwater.
Other than for Saint Lady.
Saint
Yes,
Sebastian.
Saint Sartoria is the one
Sartori,
and
yes.
only god that they worship here. Any other clerics are thought, or at least considered to be, wizards or sorcerers or tricksters in disguise. So I would be very careful about using magic out in the open.
I think that it would be easier to convince Dara to die than it would be to convince her to pretend not to be a cleric of law.
Look, I do one thing very well.
This is true.
Well, in any case, just
So do
know
I,
that
and I
it-
have to restrain myself.
just note that it might raise suspicion, and we do not
Okay.
want that under any circumstances.
Thank you for letting us
If we
know.
are caught, then we are properly fucked. What else was I going to talk to you? Oh yes, the VS Iridescence. There are other things that you might want to know about. Namely, the guard has a specific way of dealing with magicians. You see, they're called, and he takes up a piece of paper and he draws like a crudely drawn air balloon with an eye drawn like on the underside of it. He says, they're called silencers, and they're sort of small air balloons, and the underside is fitted with a Brenna told me what it's called, but it's a boulder eye of a boulder. I don't know these things, but it's in any case
A beholder?
it's something. Yes, beholder. That's
Oh
it.
How
man.
the fuck did they get one of those?
And
Or,
how
like,
it works
presumably more than
is
one,
that
I
they
don't know.
deploy this thing whenever there's a runaway magician or sorcerer on the loose, because somehow when they put light through it from a lantern, in the eye there is a crystal, I believe, or something that turns it into anti-magic.
Anti-magic field. I think Dave would
Yes.
definitely know about beholders because of Aunt
Yes.
Aunt Tilda. This is something Aunt Tilda definitely would have thought.
Yeah, she
quintessential
definitely would have.
monster.
Like, the beholder is quintessential exactly to like adventuring like Aunt Tilda does.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I've
he says-
about these. They're scary.
So I think last time I heard they had 2 or 3 of these, and whenever there's a large problem of a magician using magic, they deploy it to prevent them from casting any spells. So I thought that I would just have to let you know this, so that you can be prepared. They summon it. They summon it using a sort of whistle. Like every guard has this whistle on them, and they use a chain reaction of the whistle going forward so that they know when to deploy it.
So is this like a single eye, or is this a monster?
No, it's an eye. It's just the eye
one.
of the old thing.
Just one. Okay.
They make it at the
slightly less
academy,
scary.
and they use. They make it at the academy, and they I don't know how they do it, but they shine light through it or something, and when it goes through a crystal inside of the beholder's eye, the light gains an anti-magic property.
Okay, we'll bear that in mind.
Yeah. To get back to the pub, it's about closing time, and I think that there's a few guys in the corner who are really, really out there. So I'm gonna have to throw them out. I'll see you guys
Okay, thank you.
another time. And he sort of lumbers back up the stairs, and as he goes, you can hear him sort of calling, "All right, closing time. You there in the corner, get off your asses, come on." And you hear sort of like bumbling upstairs.
Before we go to bed, can I open up this cigar?
You can open up the cigar case. You were planning on unraveling them?
Yeah, Egg doesn't know how cigars work, but Dave probably would, because it's the sort of thing halflings probably have around.
Yeah, as you fiddle with these cigars.
Well, it was just the one that I took from the drawer.
Oh yeah, it's the one from the drawer. So that is the one that had already been like smoked for a bit. And as you unfold this one, it seems to be just a cigar.
Oh man! Oh well. Man,
So
I really hope the important ones were the ones that we left behind.
That would be awkward. Can I
That would be awkward.
tell if there's anything funny about the tobacco?
As far as you can tell, this is a normal cigar.
Feels weird that he'd lock up one cigar, though, doesn't it? Maybe we try setting fire to a tiny bit of the tobacco or something.
You can do whatever you want, Thar.
I shall try to do that.
What are you going to do?
It's just lighting
Set
it on
fire
fire.
to a tiny bit of the tobacco. Like, separate off a little lump of the tobacco and set it on fire and see what happens.
Do you have spark?
Like that. That just does whatever you would expect tobacco to do.
It's a totally normal tobacco cigar thing. My
As far as you can
hunch
tell,
was
this is a
wrong.
totally normal cigar.
Alright. Well, I'm going to stay up all night and read 8 books.
Oh,
Yes, that's true.
David's going to bed. Don't forget to pray your spells.
Okay, will do. After
Indeed.
23 minutes, Thyra is asleep.
All right. Sigmund and Glanvar, is there anything else that you guys maybe want to look into or do at this moment as Dave and Thyra are going to sleep?
No, nothing comes to mind right now.
Okay.
I mean, Glanvar's main thing he found out was about the book, and he's already told everyone about that. So.
Okay, that's fair. Then you guys can definitely go to bed and wake up the next morning. However, Sigmund.
Hello.
Hello. I think you might remember that we had a little thing going on.
We did, yes.
May have involved dreams, so could you please roll me a will save?
Okay, alright. Oh dear.
Ooh.
Oof.
That's not very good.
Oh, it's not.
So
Oh, dear.
you go to sleep, Sigmund, and as you think you're waking up, but in fact you are beginning to dream.
Oh dear.
you are upside down, and you are standing on what looks like the battlements of some sort of castle or keep.
Okay.
But everything is upside down.
Including, is this like I'm standing on the ceiling type
Yeah,
situation?
yeah, you're standing on the ceiling. Standing on the
Okay,
ceiling
all right.
situation.
Interesting.
And so far, everything seems quiet and abandoned. Could you roll me a straight whiz, please?
Sure.
What is Sigmund's
My
whiz?
wisdom is 10, so this is just
better than
a
mine.
roll a d20.
Better than mine. Mine's 9.
All right.
Not bad.
13. These battlements are familiar, but it's not quite coming to you from where. There's banners hanging around, but they're hazy, and you can't quite make out what or who or where.
Oh, let's have a closer look.
These banners?
Yes.
Okay, so you see one of the banners that is sort of in a direction down some stairs and like a side of battlements. And as you carefully step, trying to ignore the weird feeling of being upside down, you suddenly feel something wet hitting your the side of your face, and as you look beside, you can see something floating through the air. It's like a golden trail of floating ale. That rhymes. And it is sort of floating through the air, and as your eyes follow it, you can follow it to a hole in a cup. And holding this cup with the hole in it is the Duke of Broken Cups, if you remember him.
I do. I shall head over there by following the trail of ale, by which I mean drinking it out of the air as I go towards the cup.
Yeah. So yeah, as you approach it, you are sort of like floating through the air. Your feet leave the solid ground of the battlements, and you float through the air as if swimming through water, and you follow the ale, and you end up at the Duke of Cups, who is aimlessly floating through the air. Oh, Sigmund. Oh, I didn't see you there, buddy. What brings you to this place?
That's a great question. What is this place?
What is this place? It's well, normally I don't tell this to many people, but I'll let you in on this secret because we're friends. You see, we are in fact at a castle. It takes some perception to notice, and he taps his nose, but as you can quite easily see it when you look at these, and he points at the like the little battlements on the stone. You see, these are called battlements, and they are in fact typical for what you might call castle architecture.
Yes, I've always managed to answer the castle for several years, but thank you for the refresher course. What are you doing here?
Good to brush up on your basics. Well, honestly, I'm not quite sure. I was just trying to drink from my cup, and well, as you can see, I've not been very successful. And oh, look over there! And he points, and you can see the banner that you were going towards. You can see someone hanging from that banner with a collar, and it is the Duchess of Liquor Cream. And you can hear her sort of wailing about, saying, I suppose this is where it ends. In a dream, hanging by my collar from a banner.
Lady, you're here too.
I am, unfortunately. I wish I wasn't, but I am. We are all still here, just to suffer. And the Duchess sort of stares into the sky with empty eyes, and the Duke is desperately trying to like drink up the liquor trail, but it just sort of keeps evading him. Like
also, Sigrid has drunk it all already.
Yeah, probably that. Sigmund has probably like just drunk it. Sigmund, I have to tell you something.
What's that?
There's a hole in my cup. You see, I am very insecure about this, so this is very important to me that I can trust you with this information. But there is, in fact, a hole in my cup.
Mm. I see. We've tried to fix it a couple of times, but just... Yeah, what is all that about? Is this some kind of weird punishment?
Weird punishment? Maybe. What would I be punished for? I have lived my life like an angel.
That is a fair point. And Sigmund cheers at him with some of his own dream booze and drinks it.
I just don't know what could possibly be wrong with me. Do you know, Sigmund, what my crime is in this world?
Sigmund is drinking some of his own dream booze and just kind of shrugs.
Oh. It seems both of us face a conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
Say, what's that over there? He points, and as you look, you see a part of the castle that's sort of moving, almost.
Oh.
I've never seen a castle move before. I think this is another conundrum that we must solve. Follow me! And he sort of swims, does like a breaststroke through the air.
Sigmund follows away, but he's like on his back, so he can still drink. And his little legs are kicking away as he does a backstroke through the air.
Yeah, nice. So Sigmund, you follow him, and you see this part of the castle that's strangely round. It's almost like a big tube or a big bend, and you can see it moving like it's turning or something. And as you come closer, you see that the stones have a strange shape. They have sort of a pointed shape. I've never seen stones like these before. Have you, Sigmund?
Yeah, do you want to have like a check on
Yeah,
this?
roll me a knowledge nature.
I don't have any ranks in knowledge nature. The only thing I've got ranks...
For this particular thing, I think I will allow you to roll knowledge nature.
Okay.
Because you are familiar with what you are seeing.
All right.
9. Well, you can't quite identify it, but you do see that these stones are awfully like scale. That's sort of the shape that they have, and as they are passing by, you can see that there's sort of moss on them, giving them like a greenish color as they are passing you.
That's weird.
It is.
So it was round with kind of like a point, did you say?
Yeah, like these stones have sort of like a scale sort of shape, and the part of the castle that's moving is like a big roundish bend. And as it is moving, you can suddenly see a banner, the banner with the Duchess hanging from it, sitting on that part of the castle, moving towards you, and she says, we approach.
Is it like a big snake or something?
It seems to resemble that, yes.
Okay.
And as you suddenly sort of feel like a crackle, and as the Duchess passes you with the banner, as you get a closer look at it, you recognize a hand and a few bees.
Oh no!
And as you look down, you see that the green of the moss on the stones has indeed turned to a green shade on these scales. And
Is Arbello Castle turning into a giant tree?
You feel underneath you this reptilian body moving, as indeed that is what it is.
Sigmund just starts screaming and just brings out the ace of spades and starts bashing it on whenever he can.
Yeah, so as you are bashing it,
he's in a rage. He's in a drunken rage.
He's in a drunken rage, and as you bash the mace of spades down, unfortunately the scales are like steel, and they break. They do not break. Like your mace of spades pings off them, and you can feel the. You can see in the distance the Duchess and the Duke like clinging to them, and being pulled along with this thing. And you can hear the Duke shouting, "Oh, don't worry about it, Sigmund. I am in peak condition."
Sigmund's just screaming at this point, like he's gonna, he's gonna wake up screaming at this, and like possibly bash.
The last thing that you see is through the stones of indeed Arbello Castle. You can see this enormous reptilian shape moving, and you can see the Duke and the Duchess being pulled with it, and you can see a large part of the castle seemingly opening like an eyelid and looking at you as the Duchess and the Duke disappear into what looks like a giant reptilian mouth, and the Duke is screaming, "Don't worry, I'll handle this. I'll take you on, you fiend." And as they both disappear, you wake up.
What, are we in bunks? I can't remember.
You're not in bunks, no.
I think Sigmund just like wakes up like with a shout, beds the mace of spades into the wall because he's just flailing around randomly.
Yeah, just and there is just like a big dent in like the stonework of this basement. The rest of you, what would you even roll to? Roll perception, I suppose. Yes.
This is where Glanvar is woken up by every small
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
Well,
like Glanvar sleeps with his eyes open, like bloody. Jeez. So yeah, Dave and Glanvar, you are both very aware of what's going on.
Thyra?
What are we rolling? Perception?
Yeah.
Yes, perception.
Sorry, I was getting rid of all the divination spells from my spell list. It took a long time.
That's fair. Okay, 16.
Glanvar sits bolt upright, very grumpily.
Ooh, yeah, and Thyra, you noticed
Thyra
this as well.
flashbacks to Clara.
Honestly, this is pretty fucking loud. So yeah, you definitely all notice what's going on.
Yeah, what is it? Is it sewer monsters? Sewer monsters?
Morning. Hello. What time is it? Someone go upstairs and check. I have to say, I don't feel for this hotel's wake-up service.
Whereabouts is everyone else, by the way? Like, what beds? Because there's 2 different rooms here.
Yeah, the rest of it is empty.
We've pushed 4 beds together and we're all sleeping.
No.
For the reasons of plot, we're all in the same room, I guess. I assumed maybe the big one up to the top. Oh, but there is one that has 4 beds, so maybe that makes more sense.
Oh, don't people want space? Dave wants space.
Oh. This is just off a... hang on, my phone's going. Sorry, bear with.
No problem.
Sigmund's is sitting bolt upright. I think he's just reached for his pack and is having a quick draft of something. And
Which wall did he throw the thing at?
I think it's embedded here.
Oh, okay, so it didn't drop onto anyone. That's a relief.
No, it's like he just basically backhand swung it into the wall between.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Beds, I think.
Ooh.
There's a spider. Sorry, no need to worry. Time for bed.
17. Sigmund.
Sure, you're okay.
Bluff.
Let's see what the bluff is here. No,
Ooh.
that's
the phrase.
It's the wrong roll.
Wrong roll.
oh no!
But it definitely fails. Like Dave Busey through this.
Ironically, if the original roll had it been enough to beat him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're okay?
Just a bit of a bad dream. Don't worry about me. We've got to get up nice and early in the morning to find this horrible murderer.
I think it is nice and early in the morning.
Okay, nicer and slightly later, I guess.
What time is it? Is it midnight or?
It's 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Yeah, that's not nice and early. That's just early.
That is just early.
Should we wait for Jack?
So, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Sigmund is going to go to one of you, just in case this happens again.
all right.
Yeah, is that Sigmund?
It's okay, Dave. Don't worry.
This is out of his depth.
Sorry,
I had that moment with him on the ship, though. So
Sorry
that's
about
what.
that.
Oh, there you are.
Hello.
Have a moment with
It's
Sigmund
me.
again.
What?
Have a
Why
moment
do
with
I have to
Sigmund.
do it?
You already had a
Okay, fine.
moment. This is out of character.
Fuck.
Dave doesn't know about that. He was super
Okay.
drunk, if I remember.
he was.
Yeah.
Thyra is going to sit on the end of Sigmund's bed and be like, "How are you feeling, buddy?"
I think Sigmund's just like, it's the weirdest thing, but I've been having these dreams, and he'll go through the rundown of all the last kind of encounters they've had with the Duchess and the Duke, and it's just like, yeah, this was, and particularly the specifics of this last unseen, it just really got to me, just like,
Yeah, that's a pretty recent wound. Fair enough.
Thyra, could you roll me a knowledge? Wait, let me check what
Can
the
it be
knowledge.
religion as my only knowledge check?
Yeah, planes or religion is what I'm looking for, actually.
Not bad.
Fucking A. 17.
Right, 17. That's good. As you listen to this story of Sigmund's, you know from your clerical teachings, because as a cleric you've been dealing with all sorts of ailments that people have come to you with. You know that there are some influences that can significantly change a person's dreams and inflict nightmares on them.
I remember because it's happened to me. And I hated it.
Indeed. And you know that while alcohol certainly doesn't help, you know that there are creatures or beings in the ethereal plane, which you know as being the plane of dreams and the plane of the incorporeal and stuff like that. You know that there are creatures there which may prey upon mortals through their dreams and an effect of that might be the vivid nightmares. And you know that usually these are hags, which are creatures that, or specifically night hags. Like, this is something that you've come into contact with once or twice. Night hags are sort of outside creatures that live in the plane of dreams, in the ethereal plane. And if they were to catch, if a mortal mind were to come to their attention, then they might try to leech the energy from it through giving them vivid nightmares.
It does occur to me that you remember our dear friend Blind Abdul did dump you into the astral plane at one point.
That is true. That was the first time I saw him.
Yeah, well, maybe it was that. Maybe that exact thing happened, that the inner monologue in my head that sounds strangely Belgian.
That's all our internal monologues do.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Maybe we should talk about that. Maybe we're being attacked by some kind of hag.
Yeah. All right, the jig is up, guys. I am, in fact, a night hag in real life.
That explains a lot.
Shit, son.
That explains so much.
It
Plot
does,
twist.
doesn't it?
If only I could fucking detect magic. That would be really useful right now.
Only you could.
Aha, but it's not morning yet, I assume. I haven't prepared my spells yet.
That's
so
true.
I could ask Thor for something to help.
That's true.
Alright, give me 15 minutes, and I'll try and come up with a very specific prayer for this.
All right.
I've
Well,
been
we
trained,
are nearing
Sigmund.
the end of the session, so
Oh, thank God.
something that you can prep for next
Fantastic.
time. I'm just gonna ask: is there anything that you guys maybe Sigmund and Thyra? Is there anything that you guys might want to still talk about this potential hag situation, or the dreams, or the dream plane, the ethereal plane?
I think you may be drinking too much.
So I think that just catches Sigmund as he's got the bottle as well. I think that's the point to cut.
Why.
I think we could just cut the scene at that point. I think just a nice line to leave it on.
Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to that whole situation. Glanvar, is there anything specific that you still want to go over this night or in this situation?
You can join in on the intervention if you want.
I think you drastically overestimate the degree of camaraderie Glanvar has when he's woken up.
That is fair.
Yeah, he's probably just he's gonna be very grumpy, and he's probably going to wander off to find somewhere else to sleep.
All right, that is fair.
To be fair, Sig has left. To be a little bit sad about.
Yeah, this is true. Sig has relocated himself.
Okay, in that case, well, I don't. Yeah, in that case, he wouldn't have gone anywhere. He just.
All right. Okay, cool. Then I think we're going to leave the session here as a new day breaks, and a new day of the adventure continues.
Right.
Next time.
Okay.
On PATHCO.
Oh man, I forgot to mess with the intro.
You did.
More mess
You
with
really
yourself.
And the outro.
Oh, yeah, true.
Ugh,
Yep.
Life is hard.
Shall we
Yeah,
say?
that's true.
Shall we
Are
say?
we off? Are we off now? Or are we still here?
No,
or-
we're still live. I'm saying, shall we say goodbye to the stream, everyone? Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
yes,
Steve.
Goodbye.
Bye
Bye to the stream,
bye.
everyone.
But